Welcome to a special Disaffected Rant. I'm Joshua Slocum, and I cannot wait for this weekend to talk about this stuff. You guys, I actually believe that everybody has had a brain tumor for breakfast. The line from Heathers has come true. And I think I'm serious about this. Here's my proposal. I'm going to tell you about a couple experiences I had this week that were representative of the awkward non-communication that seems to have become new normal, at least in the past 5 years. I've been noticing some of these problems in transacting business for a long time. They're not brand new, but there is a marked and obvious decline and difference from the time of COVID until now. And I am genuinely now wondering, did the COVID vaccines actually cause people organic brain damage? I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm serious, because something is going on, and it's not me, and it's not just me. I'm seeing people all over the country who are talking about this. I wrote about this a little bit on Substack, and I got a lot of responses from all different parts of the country saying that people are seeing the same thing. So I'm going to tell you two anecdotes. These are like my grocery store stories, but much worse. So this past weekend, I'm just sitting here in front of my webcam. I don't feel like bothering with the studio right now. But we had a studio problem this weekend. We have a full in-house video studio and a control room that Kevin built with servers and audio processors and monitors. A lot of computing equipment, processes this show, does the graphics, sends it out to his control room where he lives in New York State while I'm sitting here at my house in Vermont. So both of the PCs, both the two computers that run the studio went dead, meaning would not power on. It wasn't their power cords. It wasn't where they were plugged in. We spent days trying to troubleshoot this. It's the biggest mystery. So we had to make a show when we were a day late taping, and I ran out to Best Buy on Saturday. Was it Saturday? It was either Friday or Saturday. Drop a couple $1,000s on a new PC because we needed something to get this show done. And Kevin's the tech guy. He understands all the stuff. So he ordered what we needed online. He paid for it. The order was a $2,100 computer and a couple $100s worth of webcams and data cables. So this was last minute. I got to the store 45 minutes before they closed, walked in, went over to the customer service desk where you pick up your online orders. And I stood there, and the kid, I'm going to call him Noah, that's not his real name. The kid standing behind there is serving the next customer in front of me. So I'm waiting. That customer leaves. This kid, Noah, let me describe him to you. First of all, he's morbidly obese. He's not just chunky, he's enormously fat. About 20 years old, huge chunky glasses covering half his face, and he's wearing a skin-tight shirt that shows, I'm sorry to be vulgar, but the outlines of his entire breast. And they were breasts. It wasn't just flabby. He was so fat he had breasts. He needed a bra and an undershirt. So this is how this guy's presenting himself to the world, right? And that customer leaves. Noah's doing this at his computer. And I'm standing here very quietly waiting to be served. Why am I doing that? Because I have learned from experience that almost any communication with an employee of this age set is treated as an intrusion or an invasion of their privacy. If you speak before you are spoken to, you will get hostility. No, I don't like it. Yes, I hate it. But I needed to accomplish my task, and I didn't want to throw down with this guy. So I stand there for, I don't know. It felt like it was almost a full minute. And that doesn't sound like long, but imagine what it's like if you're standing there 3 feet away from somebody. I know he sees me. He knows I'm there, but he will not acknowledge me, no matter what. So I finally walked over, and he stares at me like this. Are you feeling uncomfortable yet? Then you're feeling like how I felt. And he's staring at me, and I'm like, what is going on here? Then he goes, just like this. Sup? So I speak back in human, and I say, hi, I'm here to pick up an online order. My friend ordered it and paid for it, but I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the receipt up on my phone. I can't get my phone to pull up this email account. He interrupts me. Barcode. That's it. No, do you have a barcode? Not, I need a barcode because it's Best Buy's policy. You can find it on, nothing like that. Barcode. So I respond, I don't know specifically what you mean. I think you're asking me for a barcode on a receipt. If that's the case, I can't give it to you because, as I said a minute ago, I'm having trouble getting my phone to do this. Can I give you some other kind of information that would help us get to the same place? I mean, I'm just speaking like a normal person, right? And I just get this slack-jawed incomprehension. What's your name? So tell him my name's Josh Slocum. Turns his back on me with his iPad, walks into the stock room, comes back with 2 small boxes. Now I can see that he's got the webcam and the data cables, but he doesn't have the computer. Okay? I'm not going to say anything. Sets them on the counter in front of me. Doesn't speak to me. Just pushes them over on the counter in front of me. Goes back to doing this on his computer. I wait a few seconds. I think there's more merchandise in that order. Notice what I did there. I did not accuse him of making a mistake because they do take that as an accusation. If you say they made an error, you're going to get a meltdown. So I'm tippy-toeing around indirectly. And you know me, I'm a very direct guy, but I know these people. I think there's more merchandise in that order. That's a gentle prompt to look back at the order. He hasn't given me my $2,000 fucking computer. He was just going to... So again, without speaking to me, turns his back, looks at his iPad, thumbing his iPad on the way back, picks the box up, puts all the stuff, and hands it to me. And I said something to him. At this point, I was flustered. So he's like, do I need to go to the checkout? He's like, you already paid for it. I'm like, oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry. You know, da-da-da-da. So I guess I'm now old and stupid and fucktarded. Here's the thing, guys. Noah... Not only was this rude, inadequate customer service, not only was it actually customer hostile, he did not ask me for ID. He didn't ask me for a credit card. He did nothing to verify that I am actually Josh Slocum. I am the guy whose credit card paid for this. He was ready to put $2,300 worth of merchandise in a stranger's hands and walk out. Now, what if a stranger had come in and got my order? What if I had come in later, actually picking up my order? Do you know what would have happened? Of course you do. No, you picked it up earlier. No, I did. Yes, our system says you did. Very likely, I would have been out $2,300 because do you think this company gives a flying fuck? They don't. They clearly don't. So here I am. I'm walking out the door and I don't have a receipt, digital or paper. And I'm a little worried about that because they have a lectern, a kiosk at the front, where they've got people who check to make sure that you're not shoplifting, allegedly. I walked right past 3 of them. 3 employees, all in their 20s to early 30s. 2 of them were talking to each other and another one was doing this on his phone. They did not even glance at me. I could have made off like a bandit if I wanted to. So, is every transaction like that? No, it's not. Are most transactions in my area like this? Yes, they are. Yes, this is new normal. And no, it's not just Vermont. Right? I know. I get a lot of this. Why don't you just move? I know. It's all over the country. It's worst in Democrat woke blue areas. Absolutely. But I'm hearing this from people who live in the Midwest and the South too. No, it's not as bad, but it hasn't not affected them either. I was talking to a friend online, a contractor in the Midwest. The same thing is going on. He'll put in an order for $20,000 worth of construction materials. $3,000 worth of it will show up, and the guy will ask him to sign the bill of lading as if he'd received everything. He says, no, there's only $3,000 worth of $20,000 here. Well, it says this. All right, so that's one thing. Let's push Best Buy out of the way. Do I have it here? Is it going to show this thing to you? No. All right. I'm going to talk about a lawnmower belt. It has taken me almost a month to get a drive belt for my riding lawnmower. This riding lawnmower is one of the most common ever made. You recognize the brand name, Craftsman. Almost everybody has a Craftsman riding mower who lives out in the country, right? It's not weird. It wasn't a one-off. It's a very, very common model, okay? There's a deck underneath this thing, a mowing deck. So you got the tractor, the actual vehicle. You got the mowing deck on the bottom that runs on a belt off the motor that spins the blades, right? That big belt, which is like 150 inches long, and goes around multiple pulleys in a strange figure eight configuration. My belt is busted. It was old. It's stripped. It won't apply friction and grip. So I can't mow my lawn. My lawn is turning into a jungle. I have been, over the past month, I have been to 4 different stores in person, and I have spoken to 2 or 3 on the phone trying to get this belt. I don't know what's gone wrong, but it has been, I finally got it, but it has been impossible to get this. One of the most common items that any homeowner would ever need, a drive belt for a big brand name Craftsman lawnmower. I tried looking online. I tried using the serial number for the lawnmower itself. I don't know what your experience is. But my experience, when I open up a search engine on the internet now, they simply don't give results like they used to. You can be specific. You can put things in quotation marks. You can use the plus sign and the minus sign. Please don't search on this word. Search only on this word. It does not matter. It just serves you back what it wants to serve you. I could not find a universal SKU number. I couldn't find a unique identifier that said this particular model of belt fits this particular model of Craftsman. Yes, we have it in stock. We can order it. When I found a few that I thought might be the case, they don't list specifications. They don't list the length. They don't list the V cross-section shape. They will not tell you. Like, I'm not dumb, right? I've been computing since 1984. I've been living in the world since 1974. This stuff used to be standard. It's all gone now, right? So this is really frustrating. And I start out at a local auto parts store. They were very nice. They tried to help me. I didn't realize until 3 iterations of the wrong product showing up that I probably shouldn't ask them anymore. They finally said, well, we're not a lawnmower store. And I'm like, well, I know, and I didn't mean to treat you like one, but I assumed that if you didn't think you could get the part that you'd tell me you weren't the right purveyor, but they never told me that. So getting frustrated. And this belt is about 150 inches long. It's really wide. Like, I'd have to hold it out like this to show it to you. The first one I pick up in there, 20-year-old kid, very nice guy, but dumb. Dumb, has no idea what he's doing, doesn't even know his own stock. He's like, here it is. It's a little belt that's this big. Do you see what my fingers are doing? That's like 24 inches, right? I'm holding in my hand the old belt that I need to replace. He can see it. He can see that it's like 6 feet long. It didn't register. I was waiting for him to pick up on it, but he didn't. And so I took it and I said, do you see the difference? Right? Do you see that this can't be the belt? Are you sure you picked the right one? I don't know. Go look. He wasn't rude or anything, but it just... Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast? I go through so many iterations of this. Then I figure, hey, there's a lawn and garden center here. It's owned by a local family. I'm going to go there. I look at their website. They just went out of business. It's completely went out of business. So the biggest purveyor, apparently, of my area is now just out of business. And I'm like, oh my God. How does this... Let me not go off on that tangent. So I called one a county over, a 45-minute drive away. 8 days ago. 8 days as I speak to you. Very nice gentleman, sounded like he was middle-aged like me, said he would order the part for me. It would be there in 3 to 5 days, and that he'd call me when it came in. It's day 8 today. I've had no phone call. So I was expecting if it didn't come in, they'd at least call and say, hey, we know we said it would be here, but it isn't. I would have been completely fine with that. I mean, I would have been like, oh, God, I wish I could mow my lawn. But like, hey, thank you. I know you can't control FedEx or whatever. Nope, nothing. So I call yesterday. I speak to a different guy. he's harried, right? I can hear it in his voice. He's got a lot of customers and stuff. He's probably the only one on there. Doesn't really want to talk to me on the phone. But I said, it's been a week now, and he's like, well, I don't have anything here. I've got all these purchase orders and nothing's come in on the truck. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Not your fault. Appreciate it. But can you confirm for me that your store did order the part? I don't even have confirmation. It's not like, you sent me an email or anything. It's possible that my order got overlooked. I need to I don't have anything. And I'm like, okay, I'm not allowed to speak to the guy, right? I'm trying to communicate to him that I get it. I'm not blaming him. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to get this across to you on video. Because when I write about this, when I talk about this, I worry that people will think I'm making it up, or they'll think I'm misrepresenting myself, that I'm actually really rude, or that I yell or something, that I'm the problem and I'm just complaining about this stuff. And I can't, you're not there, you can't see it, but I'm not the problem, right? With these people, I'm basically humiliating myself. I'm using a really soft tone of voice. I'm speaking indirectly. I'm never saying you so I don't sound accusatory. I'm begging them. I'm communicating deferential, non-entitled, and they won't pick it back up and serve it back to me. You can hear it in the halting and the irritated tone of voice. They perceive a specific question as an insult or an aggravation. It's not just this transaction. This is so many of them that I go through. This wasn't like this. This is definitely new normal from the past 5 years. And these guys that I'm talking to at the small engine place, I can hear their voices. They're middle-aged guys like me. They're in their 50s. This is Gen X, so it's not just the young people. The young people are absolutely the worst, because many of them literally were not socialized. We're talking another, I'll bring in a side conversation. Have you been in a restaurant lately and observed a very young millennial or old Gen Z, people in the 20 to 25 range? Have you watched how they eat? Have you watched how they hold utensils? You know what? Hang on. Okay. Dinner fork. I'm out at a nice restaurant a couple weeks ago with some friends. This is a $30 to $50 a plate restaurant, right? It's the kind of place where when people were civilized, they would have put on a coat and tie. But of course, dressing up these days is simply wearing a shirt like this. So this is not a cheap place. And I look over at this other table and I can see a very clearly upper middle class family. I can tell by how expensive their clothes are and the way they're groomed that they have a lot of money. They've got a young, good-looking son with them. I'd put him at maybe 23 or 24 years old. He's holding his fork like this. Do you see I'm holding this like a pencil? Like I were writing? He's doing this. Spearing food, shoveling it into his mouth like this. I'm seeing this everywhere now. Have you seen this? This is what I'm talking about when I say these people are not socialized. This is the most basic. I'm serious. Have you toilet trained your kids? Gen X parents? Did you actually teach them to use the potty? I'm not even joking. I half expect these guys to walk out with a bulky diaper in the back. Guys, what is going on? Leave it where, whoever you are, wherever you're watching this, please leave a comment. I would love to know a couple of things. Number one, if you've seen this yourself, and if you are, tell me what part of the country you live in. Tell me if it's a Democrat or Republican or Libertarian or purple area. I'd like to know that. Have you noticed it? Yes or no? And if you haven't, that's fine. I'd like to hear that too. Tell me where you live and say, no, it's not like that. It's stayed normal here. But I'd also like to know what you think about the possibility that COVID vaccines did actually cause physical neurological brain damage. I think whatever's going on here is multifactorial. It's not one thing. I complained on the show this past week that the right is blaming the transgender shootings at schools on SSRI and antidepressants, and the left is saying it's the guns to blame. I'm not doing the same thing. I'm not saying this one thing, these COVID vaccines have done everything. I'm not saying that. It's very clear that parenting has gone down the tubes for the past 40 to 50 years. It's gotten worse with each generation. My generation, Gen X, has done a terrible job raising kids. it is clear that smartphones have had a huge impact on everyone, but most especially young people. And I do suspect that the fact that they've had these devices in their hands for most of their lives, that just interacting with that phone, for every 5 minutes they interact with the phone, that's another 5 minutes that they're not talking to each other. They're not sitting and sharing food with each other. They're not using their hands in the real world. They're looking at a screen. And it dawned on me. No, I'll stop that and I'll go back to the vaccines. Do you think it's plausible, and or have you seen any evidence, or any credible hypothesis that these vaccines cause actual organic brain damage? I think something is going on here, because I have never seen America look like this, ever. I've never seen so many people. It's the kind of thing where I would call this functional retardation. It's not just a little out of it. It's like actual mental retardation. People who can't do the basic things they could do 5 years ago. They run red lights like they're not even there. People stop and, like when I was going out today to look for that belt, and I pulled into the parking lot of a farm supply store, and a woman and her daughter are wheeling a cart out to their car, and they're so erratic in their maneuvering their cart that I literally stopped. I stopped. I put my foot on the brake. I refused to move. I wasn't going to try to go around them because I couldn't predict what they were doing. They did not see me. It didn't register to them that there was a moving vehicle that had the potential to hurt them. And because they were so erratic, I said, if I dodge left, they might go left too. The safest thing for me to do is to sit here and not move until they close their car door. This shit happens all the time. What's going on? Do people actually have brain damage? It's so intensely frustrating. And the thing that occurred to me that I'll leave you with, I do think, especially young people and especially Gen Z, I actually think they experience other people as if other people were iPhones. The Gen Z stare, it's almost like they're trying to unlock you with their face, like you were a phone. And these halting, incomplete communications, no complete sentences, just strings of phrases that sound like commands or questions. I think they're prompting us. I think they're talking to us like we were an AI or a large language model. What do you think? Thanks for listening. You're lucky I didn't record this earlier because I would have screamed into the microphone. This has been a Disaffected Rant. It is, what is today? September 2nd, 2025. Be sure to catch us this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern for a full episode of Disaffected. We're on every video and audio platform. We run on X/Twitter. We run on YouTube. We run on Rumble. And we go out wherever you get your podcasts.